I finished this manhwa near the end of 2022 or early 2023. I can't quite remember the details, but I do remember thinking how emotional and heartbreaking the ending is. The God of High School was something I read in elementary, so to be a college student and see it end is quite a interesting feeling. This will have a few spoilers, since most of my thoughts are towards the recent volumes, specifically the 5th and 6th volumes. Now, I was someone who picked and dropped this series, but coincidentally, it usually was a volume and a half binge read, and then a hiatus that took months, nearly a year, to come back to reading the series again. Personally, season 5 was not my favorite, but it was acceptable given the fact that it gave us Mori Dan. At first, I was absolutely frustrated knowing that Mori had to start all over again. This becomes a running theme, I swear. Back to the start, and then getting some form of enlightenment with his abilities that his previous iteration didn't. Also, I forgot how many years it's been since Mori Jin became Mori Dan. I actually read the wiki and found out that it was 17 years since Ragnarok arc in season 5. So I'm just saying, 17 is like the magic number for periods of time where Mori is absent for some reason. I might be wrong though, since it has been a long time and I do pick up the series infrequently. I don't mind, like I said, but you do notice that number, so you will notice it. One of my favorite moves is actually also created by Dan Mori, which is also why I really love season 6. And that's why it has such a complicated feeling for me. It's called the railgun, and it's basically one where the Ryujingo is kicked like a projectile, and every time he uses it, I get absolutely wild with hype. It is my favorite move in the series, more compared to like any other skill set he has that is admittedly very cool looking with all the SFX. I really love the railgun. It's my favorite. It's 10 out of 10 for flair and bonus points because it doesn't have the neon color signifiers. I don't know how to describe it. The words is not coming to me. So yeah, volume 6 was a roller coaster. I loved it, I hated it. I'm like, why is it still taking so long? Because at that point, I just really wanted to finish God of High School and was tired of Mori basically be not strong enough, seeing my favorite characters gone. Seeing Mubong Park not get his comeuppance, but the final fight truly paid off. The parallels of both the protagonist and the antagonist are laid bare. We get to see how they walked similar paths, but due to a few key differences, eventually separated them, their goals and their eventual path taken. It made me appreciate Mubong Park, despite how much I detested him after the murder of Mori's grandpa, the betrayal, and his propensity for not fucking dying. I swear, he's like a Slytherin. Such a snake, man. He can never die. And it's sort of like justified because he is strong. It is iterated in the earlier volumes that he is strong and he is a survivor, so but still, it's still annoying, okay? But the final fight was absolutely satisfying, heartbreaking, and fulfilling. Truly a great finale. Seeing everyone there, seeing everyone struggle, seeing everyone work together to combat Mubong, and then knowing his side of the story as well, it made me not hate him as much as I used to. Such a great parallel to Mori. There is also a short spin-off to properly conclude the story. It's basically a non-serious epilogue. Although, it is a bit bittersweet as Jin Mori never gets to settle down and spend the rest of his friends' lives in peace, because he is, a god. He is immortal. And humans, unfortunately, have short lifespans compared to a god. So knowing what he's doing in the epilogue and knowing every time he leaves he might never see them again, it really is the word bittersweet. Due to me reading and completing the God of High School manhwa, I listened to the opening from the anime non-stop, and man, is it catchy. Truly a great manhwa to have read, and even better because it gave that part of my childhood a sense of fulfillment to finally close that chapter of my manhwa reading self. Hopefully Tower of God can also do the same, although I am not saying that, the author should rush it, because they were seriously having health complications, and I'd rather the author and writer and the team to be healthy than not, because I want to see it to the end, but not to the point where it's at the cost of the health, right? No story is ever worth that. As much as me as a reader am invested, I should also, we should all understand that no one is more invested than the creators themselves. That's all I'm saying. So that's why I'm never impatient when it comes to waiting for a manhwa or manga or whatever kind of creative project is there to be completed. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to read or watch God of High School if you haven't. I'd love to hear what you think of it yourself, and comment down below. I've been reading all of the comments that I get. Despite how few they are, they really do uplift me, Oh gosh, that was cringe. Okay, thank you. Bye!